You're not heartbroken. You're not anxious. You're not lost. You're exhausted. From bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. You're destroying yourself for people who don't care. You stay up late replaying conversations in your head. They sleep like a baby. You draft long texts and delete them. They forget you exist until they're bored. You sacrifice your peace so they don't feel slightly uncomfortable. Here's the deal. You think this is love. You think this is loyalty. You think this is what being a good person looks like. It's not. It's self-betrayal dressed as kindness. And if you're serious about leveling up mentally, hit subscribe, because what we're about to break down might change how you see every relationship in your life, including the one with yourself. Because until you understand this, you will keep over-giving, you will keep over-chasing, you will keep over-explaining, and you will keep wondering why everyone else seems to hold power over your emotions. Let's get real. You wake up. First thing you do? You grab your phone. You didn't sleep well. Too much racing thoughts. Too much overthinking. There's a knot in your chest before your feet even touch the floor. You open your messages. You scroll up to that chat, the one that's slowly been dying. You see, last seen yesterday. You see your last message? Hey, all good? No reply. Just that little word under it. Delivered. Feels small, right? Just a message. But your body reacts like it's life or death. Your stomach drops. Your brain starts building stories at light speed. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Did I annoy them? Did they find someone better? Why am I never enough for anyone? Now you're not just checking if they replied. You're checking if you're worth replying to. You go on Instagram. You see their story. They're out, laughing, posting, living, so they have time for that. But no time to respond to you. Your brain whispers, you don't matter to them. And you believe it. You carry that all day. Into your work, into your classes, into your workouts, into your family conversations. Your focus? Shot. Your mood? Dependent on one person's attention. Your self-worth? Being auctioned off to the lowest bidder. And it doesn't stop at relationships. At work, you say yes to everything. You're the one who stays late, covers shifts, fixes mistakes. You keep thinking, if I keep giving, they'll finally see my value. They'll appreciate me, promote me, respect me. But instead of gratitude, you get expectation, silence. And when you finally say no, suddenly you're difficult. In your family, you're the emotional janitor. Everybody dumps their issues on you. Nobody asks how you're really doing. You're terrified of disappointing them, so you swallow your needs and play the role. And here's the part that hurts. Deep down, you're not even mad at them. You're mad at yourself for letting it happen. Again, and again, and again. You keep hoping one day they'll wake up and say, wow, I've been taking you for granted, but they don't. You know why? Because you trained them to believe that your time, your energy, your emotions are cheap. They're not evil. They're just comfortable. You made it easy. In the name of being nice. In the name of being understanding. In the name of, I don't want to lose them. So you know what you lose instead. Yourself. And this is where Stoicism steps in, like a slap of cold water. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In plain English, stop trying so hard to look good, to be liked, to be the one who's always there for everyone, and start being okay with disappointing people when it means protecting yourself. Different era, same problem. Because the real issue isn't them. It's not the person who left your text on read. It's not your coworker who uses you. It's not your family member who only calls when they need something. The real issue is that you've tied your peace to how other people treat you. You've taken your inner stability, your mood, your value, your calm, and handed it over like a spare key. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about that. You don't control their replies, their moods, their loyalty, or their effort. But you do control what you tolerate, what you chase, what you give, and what you make things mean. Here's the brutal truth. You are not destroyed by people ignoring you. You're destroyed by your interpretation of it. It means I'm not enough. It means they don't care. It means I have to try harder. No. Most of the time it means they're in their own world. They're not as invested. They're not built like you. They're not obligated to love you the way you love them. And that's okay. What's not okay is abandoning yourself trying to fix that. Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." You suffer twice. First, from what actually happens. Then from the story you build around it. They didn't answer. That's event number 1. You spend 6 hours spiraling, checking, replaying, chasing. That's event number 2. And you built that one yourself. Stoicism isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about refusing to be emotionally owned by people, by outcomes, by random events. It's understanding the thin line between love and self-destruction. Let's break it down. You've been taught that giving is always good. You've heard, be there for people. Love unconditionally. Never give up on someone you care about. Sounds nice. Sounds noble. But here's where that goes wrong. When you give more than you can afford, that's not generosity. That's emotional debt. When you love someone more than you love your own peace, that's not romance. That's addiction. When you refuse to let go of what's clearly hurting you, that's not loyalty. That's fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of starting over. Fear of facing the truth. That you built your identity around people who were never meant to stay. Here's what no one tells you. Boundaries don't push away the right people. They only expose the wrong ones. The moment you say, "I'm not going to respond to disrespect," the moment you say, "I'm not going to be available 24/7, the moment you stop chasing, explaining, and overcompensating, the people who were only there to take, they'll leave. Let them. That's not loss. That's filtration. You're not losing people. You're losing illusions. This is the Stoic turn. You stop asking, "Why don't they care about me like I care about them?" And you start asking, "Why do I care so little about myself that I tolerate this?" Marcus Aurelius would sit down at night and write reminders to himself like, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Translated? Stop whining that nobody respects you. Start acting like someone who respects themselves. And here's another uncomfortable fact. You're not just a victim in this story. You're participating. Every time you answer that late, "You up?" text. Every time you rearrange your plans for someone who won't spare 5 minutes for you. Every time you let disrespect slide because "I don't want to cause drama," you are teaching them how to treat you. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. Your ego tells you, "If I give more, they'll finally see my worth." But reality says, if you give without standards, they'll see you as cheap. This is the battlefield. Your emotions versus your standards. Your fear of being alone versus your duty to protect your peace. Most people lose, not because they're weak, but because they've never been taught how to fight. So let's train. Picture your life like a fortress. Inside the walls is your mind, your energy, your time, your heart. Outside the walls is the world unpredictable, beautiful, chaotic. Now imagine you've left the front gate wide open. No guards, no criteria, no checks. Anyone can walk in, stay as long as they want, touch whatever they want, break whatever they want. That's how you've been living emotionally. You let people walk in with red flags waving like parade banners. You ignore your gut feelings. You explain away their behavior. You convince yourself, it'll change. They'll see my value. They don't. Because why would they change? The system works perfectly for them. You, on the other hand, become the castle that keeps fixing itself after every raid, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every disappointment. You rebuild. But here's the crazy part. You rebuild with the doors still open. That's not resilience. That's self-sabotage. Stoicism says, don't be angry that you were used. Be angry that you didn't guard your own gates. Marcus wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. You keep thinking thoughts like, I have to earn love. I have to prove I'm worth it. If I don't give, they'll leave. And your whole life, your whole soul, becomes dyed in that color of desperation. Here's the switch. You start thinking, my value is not determined by their response. I can love and still have boundaries. It is not my job to fix anyone at the cost of destroying myself. That's when the color changes. Let's talk about attachment. Most of your pain doesn't come from what people do. It comes from how tightly you hold on to who you think they should be. You're not just attached to them. You're attached to the fantasy version of them. The one who texts back instantly. The one who never lets you down. The one who magically becomes emotionally mature because you love them enough. You're dating potential. You're friends with potential. You're loyal to potential. Stoicism says, take people as they are, not as your ego wants them to be. Epictetus taught that we suffer when we try to control what isn't ours. You don't control who stays, who leaves, who cheats, who lies, who shows up. What you control, who you let back in, how fast you leave when you see the truth. What story you tell yourself after it breaks. When someone shows you who they are with consistent actions, your job is not to debate it. Your job is to decide what you will do about it. But your ego hates that. Because your ego is addicted to rewriting reality so that you never have to face this sentence. They didn't care as much as I did. That's a punch to the gut. It's real. It hurts. But that truth, that's the doorway to freedom. Because once you accept that without drama, without villainizing them, you get your power back. You stop trying to win over people who were never playing for your team. You stop arguing with reality. You stop begging for crumbs at tables where you were never meant to sit. You know what you start doing instead? You build your own table, and you honor the one person who's been with you through every heartbreak, every betrayal, every lonely night, every meltdown. Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you treated yourself with even half the loyalty you give to people who barely show up? What if you protected your mind like you protect your phone? You freak out if you misplace your phone for 5 minutes. But you let people play games with your peace for months, even years. You charge your phone every night, so it doesn't die on you. But you never recharge yourself. You just run lower and lower, hoping coffee, scrolling, and distraction will keep you going. You put a case on your phone to protect the glass, but you walk around with no emotional armor, letting every comment, every look, every delayed text shatter you. See the problem? Stoicism is basically emotional armor, not to block love, not to block connection, but to block nonsense, to block manipulation, to block your own self-destructive habits, to block your tendency to turn everybody else's behavior into a judgment of your worth. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Read that again. He's not saying, pretend everything is fine. He's saying, the final verdict of whether something destroys you is made in your own mind. They ghosted you. They lied to you. They used you. That's pain. That's real. But the part where you say, I'll never trust again. I was stupid. I'm unlovable. I'll always be abandoned. That's optional. That's your story. And that's where you either free yourself or chain yourself. Here's the turning point. The moment you realize you are not obligated to destroy yourself, to keep people around. Not at work, not in relationships, not in family, not with friends. Love is not measured in how much pain you can tolerate. Some people hearing this right now are in what I call emotional overtraining. In the gym, if all you ever do is max out, never rest, never recover, never say, enough, your body breaks down. You don't get stronger. You get injured. Emotionally, you're doing the same thing. You keep lifting weight that isn't yours to carry. Their mood, their trauma, their insecurities, their laziness, their indecision. You call it holding them down, but really? You're the one on the floor. You think enduring more will make you stronger. But enduring what isn't necessary just makes you bitter, drained, and resentful. There's a difference between resilience and self-abandonment. Stoicism is not just tough it out no matter what. Stoicism is, I will endure what I must, but I will stop participating in my own abuse. So let's get brutally clear. You are destroying yourself when you keep replying to people who only hit you when they're bored, horny, or lonely. Keep justifying disrespect because they're going through a lot. Keep letting your boss overload you because you're scared to set boundaries. Keep making excuses for friends who never show up, never support you, and disappear when you need them. Keep trying to prove your worth to someone who's already decided you're optional. You are not required to keep proving you deserve basic respect. Read that again. Let's go deeper into control. Epictetus split life into two categories. What's up to us? What's not? Your mistake? You live like everything is in the second category. How they see me? Not up to me. How they act? Not up to me. What they think of my boundaries? Not up to me. But the standards I set? Up to me. The time I give? Up to me. The energy I invest? Up to me. What I accept once I see the truth? 100% up to me. Imagine life like a chessboard. You're obsessed with moving your opponent's pieces. You shouldn't do that. You should care more. You should respect me. You should text back. You should appreciate everything I do. But their pieces? They don't listen to your fingers. They move how they want. Based on their training, their wounds, their desires, their character. You can complain all day. You can analyze their moves with your friends. But it won't change a thing. Your power lies in one place. How you move times your times pieces when you see times their times patterns. They take you for granted? That's a move. You respond by giving more? That's your move. They disrespect you? That's a move. You respond by staying? That's your move. Stoicism says, stop screaming at the board. Play your side wisely. And sometimes the wisest move is to pick up your pieces and walk away from the table entirely. Will it hurt? Yes. Will you be lonely for a while? Probably. Will your mind try to drag you back into old patterns? 100%. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline isn't just about waking up early or going to the gym. Discipline is about not texting them when every cell in your body is screaming, just reach out. Discipline is about not checking their page, not watching their stories, not stalking their life to see if they're missing you yet. Discipline is about sitting with the discomfort of not being chosen, without running back to the people who half chose you. Seneca wrote, if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. If you don't know what you stand for, your values, your standards, your non-negotiables, every text, every invitation, every I'm sorry, I'll change, will blow you in some new direction. You'll never be stable. You'll never be centered. You'll always be reacting. And reacting is how you lose. Let's create a moment right now. Picture the version of you who finally gets tired. Not tired like I need a nap. Tired like I'm done living like this. I'm done begging. I'm done shrinking myself. I'm done pretending I'm okay with things that keep breaking me. That version of you doesn't scream. They don't post cryptic quotes all over their story. They don't try to make anyone jealous. They just quietly shift. They stop replying instantly. They start saying no without explaining their entire life story. They stop being always available. They stop apologizing for having needs. They stop expecting emotional maturity from people who've shown zero interest in growing. They accept this fact. Not everyone deserves access to me. That's not arrogance. That's hygiene. You lock your front door, don't you? You don't let random strangers sleep in your bed. You don't give your bank PIN to people you barely know. But emotionally, you've been handing out VIP passes to anyone with a nice smile and a sob story. It's time to become more dangerous. Not dangerous as in violent. Dangerous as in unshakable. The moment you stop needing their approval, you become free. You become hard to manipulate, hard to guilt trip, hard to emotionally blackmail. Because your mind stops asking, do they like me? And starts asking, do I times like who I am when I'm around them? Different question, different life. The climax is this realization. You are the one who has been betraying you. Not them. You. They sent the mixed signals. They pulled away. They disappointed you. But you were the one who kept reopening the door. You were the one who believed words over patterns. You were the one who said, it's okay, when it wasn't. You were the one who kept negotiating your value every time someone made you feel small. That's the cut. That's the punch. But here's the beauty in that harsh truth. If you are the one betraying you, you can also be the one who saves you. You don't have to wait for apologies. You don't have to wait for closure. You don't have to wait for them to realize what they lost. You close the book yourself. You write your own ending. You say, that chapter is over. Not because they finally treated me right, but because I finally remembered who I am. And you back it up with action. So, Let's put this into a Stoic code you can actually live by. Not theory. Not cute quotes. Real, practical, non-negotiable behavior. Code 1. Pause before reacting. When that text doesn't come. When they post something that stings. When your boss takes credit for your work. When your family member says something disrespectful. Your old pattern is to instantly react. Send a paragraph. Spiral. Beg. Fight. Prove. From now on, you pause. You breathe. You step back mentally and ask 3 questions. 1. What exactly happened? Facts only. 2. What story am I adding to this? 3. What response serves my long-term self-respect, not my short-term ego? You don't let your feelings drive the car. They can ride in the back seat, but logic holds the wheel. Code 2. Journal instead of dumping. When you feel disrespected, abandoned, ignored, betrayed, don't run to your phone first. Run to paper. Write the uncensored version. I'm pissed. I feel small. I feel stupid. I miss them. I want to text them so bad. Get it out of your system without handing your power to someone else. Marcus Aurelius did this every night. His meditations weren't written for the world. They were his way of keeping his mind straight in a chaotic life. Copy that, because once you write it down, something shifts. You create space between you and the emotion. You're not times in times it anymore. You're times observing times it. Code 3. Raise the price of your energy. Your time, your attention, your emotions. That's currency. Stop spending it like you're broke and desperate. From now on, you don't chase anyone who's clearly walking away. You don't explain basic respect more than once. You don't entertain half-effort. You don't keep giving second, third, 10th chances to the same patterns. You quietly match energy. If they show up, you show up. If they fade, you don't run after them. You let them go. Because your value doesn't go down when someone fails to see it. It just means they don't have the range. Code 4. Detach from outcomes. Commit to standards. Detach from, if I do this, they'll finally stay. If I act this way, they'll finally love me. If I keep giving, they'll never leave. You don't control the outcome. So instead, commit to standards. I will not raise my voice. I will not beg. I will not compete for attention. I will not explain my worth. I will walk away from situations that consistently drain me. You succeed the moment you act in line with your standards, regardless of what they do afterward. That's Stoic victory. Code 5. Expect hardship, like a soldier. This world is not gentle. Love is messy. People are inconsistent. Even the best ones will disappoint you sometimes. If you expect everything to be smooth, you'll crack the first time it's not. From now on, you assume. I will be tested. I will be misunderstood. I will be taken for granted at times. I will be tempted to go back to old patterns. When it happens, you don't say, why me? You say, this is training. This is my rep. This is where I get stronger. Code 6. Practice silence over reaction. You don't need to respond to every disrespect. Sometimes the loudest statement is your absence. Not clapping back. Not begging. Not typing essays. Just silence. Just distance. Just living so well, with so much self-respect, that you become unavailable to chaos. Seneca said, silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings. Let your silence be your boundary. Code 7. Build a life that doesn't revolve around them. Your biggest vulnerability right now is that you've made someone else the main character in your story. You wait for their texts. You stalk their updates. You shape your plans around their availability. Flip that. Fill your world so much that their absence is a space, not a collapse. Train. Read. Work on your craft. Build your career. Strengthen your body. Deepen your mind. Nurture friendships with people who reciprocate. Spend time alone without feeling empty. Make your life so rich and full that anyone who chooses to walk away just creates more room for peace. That's how you stop destroying yourself for people who don't care. You start caring about you. You become the guardian of your own mind. You become the curator of your own circle. You become the protector of your own peace. And here's the last thing I'll leave you with. The world will always test your boundaries. People will come and go. Some will be a blessing. Some will be a lesson. Some will be a warning. You don't control who stays. You don't control who changes. You don't control who suddenly decides you're not what they want anymore. But you do control this. You will not abandon yourself to keep anyone else. You will not bleed for people who won't even bring a bandage. You will not break yourself into smaller and smaller pieces so others can feel whole. You will not let unanswered messages, cold shoulders, or inconsistent effort define your value ever again. You're done destroying yourself for people who don't care. You're building something stronger now, a mind that refuses to be owned, a heart that loves without losing itself, a life that stands, with or without their presence. The world doesn't control you. Your reactions do. Master that and you master your life. If this message hit home, like the video. And if you're ready to build unshakable discipline and real emotional armor, subscribe. We're just getting started.